A total lunar eclipse turns the moon blood red, and a newly discovered comet might put on a great show for us in the coming weeks. Let's take a look at what you can go out to see in the night sky for March of 2026. I'm Michael Martin, and this is Late Night Astronomy. This month's episode of The Night Sky is sponsored by the Houdini Coma-Correcting Eyepieces. And let's begin with our main event this March, which is a total lunar eclipse. During a total lunar eclipse, the Earth moves in between the Sun and the Moon, casting our shadow down on the lunar surface. The first of these shadows is known as the penumbra, but the most dramatic is called the umbra. It's during this time that an obvious shadow will slowly be cast on the Moon. At the peak of a total lunar eclipse, the Moon is completely in the shadow of the Earth, and the shorter wavelengths of light, such as light blue, get scattered by our planet's atmosphere, while the longer wavelengths of light, orange and red, make their way to the surface of the Moon, creating that famous blood moon color. This eclipse will be best viewed from the west coast of North America, along with parts of Asia and Australia. Let's focus on times for the west coast of North America using Pacific Standard Time. Beginning around 1:50 a.m. on the morning of March 3rd, the Moon will begin to slowly move through the Earth's umbra, casting our planet's shadow down on the lunar surface. Around 3:05 a.m., the Moon will be completely covered by the shadow of the Earth and will turn that famous blood red color. The midpoint of the eclipse will occur around 3:35 a.m., and the Moon will begin to leave the shadow of the Earth around 4:03 a.m. Please double check the date and time with your local news and a website that I like to use called inthesky.org. I'll be sure to leave a link to that website in the description below, and please let us know where you're observing from and what you were able to see of this total lunar eclipse in the comments section below. Let's continue with the Moon by taking a look at some other opportunities that you'll have to observe it this month using the naked eye, a pair of binoculars, or a telescope. And let's begin with its phases. We start off the month with the aforementioned full moon that goes along with the total lunar eclipse on March 3rd. Following that, we've got a last quarter moon on the 11th, new moon on the 18th, and a first quarter moon on March 25th. The Moon will also make some close passes to prominent objects in the night sky this month, such as M45, the Pleiades, on March 23rd, Jupiter on March 26th, and a personal favorite of mine, M44, the Beehive Cluster, on March 27th. Before we continue our journey through the night sky, I'd like to take a moment to recognize this month's sponsor, the Houdini Coma-Correcting Eyepieces. These revolutionary eyepieces are designed to remove the coma from your reflector telescope, making elongated and distorted stars near the outer portions of your view look like pinpoint sharp stars across the entire field of view. Along with their unique coma-correcting design, they have an ultra-wide apparent field of view of 86 degrees, and their multi-coated optics combined with high transmission glass lead to exceptional contrast. Since their release last year, these eyepieces have received rave reviews, and I was really impressed by their performance the other night in my F5 Dobsonian looking at the Pleiades, Orion Nebula, and Jupiter. Even if you don't own a reflector telescope, the Houdini design also works for any telescope with a focal ratio of f6 or higher. For more information on the design of these eyepieces and how you can purchase one for yourself, be sure to check out links to my friends at Houdini and Agena Astro in the description below. The planets of our solar system hold some interesting pairings this month, starting with Venus, Saturn, and Neptune right after sunset on the evenings of March 6th, 7th, and 8th. If you have a clear, flat view of the western horizon, go outside about 15 to 30 minutes after sunset to spot this event with the naked eye, a pair of binoculars, or a telescope. Through a pair of 10 by 50 binoculars showing about a 6.5 degree field of view, I'll be able to frame this event nicely, although I'm not expecting to see Neptune due to the bright sky glow. Moving to the morning sky, if you're willing to get up early, you can see Mercury at its highest point in the east just before sunrise around March 29th. The best show in town, though, continues to be the gas giant Jupiter as it continues its run of dominating the night sky. I was out observing it a few weeks ago, testing out the new 7mm Houdini eyepiece. At around 214 times magnification, I was able to see a pinpoint shadow move across its surface, which was a transit of one of its moons. Its prominent cloud belts were showing very sharp detail with some hints of soft red and brown colors popping in contrast off its surface. If you haven't been out to see Jupiter yet with a pair of binoculars or a telescope, be sure to have that high on your list of things to see this month. Let's move from the planets of our solar system to a comet you might be able to see with a telescope this month. Comet C2026 A1 MAPS was just recently discovered this past January. It's currently at magnitude 15 or 16, putting it out of the reach for most of us with even medium to larger size telescopes, but it's possible that towards the end of this month, and particularly when it makes its closest approach to the sun around April 4th, we might be able to go out to see it with the telescope and possibly even the naked eye from certain places around the world. That is, if it survives its closest approach to the sun. For the northern hemisphere, Comet A1 is a difficult target as it makes its approach to the sun traveling through the constellation Eridanus and Cetus. While it will have a more favorable sky position for my friends in the southern hemisphere as it makes its approach to the sun, it's still going to be dim throughout much of March, with perhaps an 8 to 10 inch telescope being able to pick it up before it gets too low to the horizon and close to the sun. Be sure to subscribe for updates on this comet, because if it doesn't fall apart in its approach to the sun, we'll have a lot more to say about it in the April edition of The Night Sky. Now let's leave our solar system behind and take a look at our Deep Sky Challenge for the month of March. To see these objects this month, go outside about an hour and a half after sunset on a moonless night and face towards the north. Look up until you come across the constellation Ursa Major, more commonly known as the Big Dipper. Using a 9x50 finder scope, giving us around a 5-degree field of view, let's start at the star Dubhe. Slowly star hop from this bright star, looking for recognizable patterns of other stars as you compare what you see in your star chart or SkySafari with what you see through your finder scope or eyepiece. Once you've star hopped to this location, you'll come across two faint yet distinct blurs of light. Let's switch to a 30mm eyepiece, which gives me 50 times magnification and about a 1.4 degree field of view in my telescope. What were two faint objects that might have been difficult to see and make out through the finder scope will begin to reveal themselves as complex galaxies. Experiment with magnifications with your telescope to help darken the background sky and potentially bring out some more faint details of these objects. M81 is a beautiful spiral galaxy, but M82 is actually my favorite of the two to study due to its more interesting shape from it being an irregular starburst galaxy. Thanks for joining us on our journey through the night sky. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to this channel to join our growing community. But most importantly, let us know what you're getting out to observe and image, and any questions that you might have about the night sky in the comments section below. Thank you all so much for your continued support, and clear skies from Late Night Astronomy.